and I'm a public health major. And one of my favorite parts of the trip was actually in the beginning of it. And we had a guided tour around London, and our guide's name was Nigel. He was a former policeman, so it really did show some perspective on things that we should do. For instance, one of the guard changes, he knew exactly how the officers felt and how the horses felt towards tourists and bystanders watching them. So he wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable enough to continue with the processions of the guard change. And it really did make everything went smooth. And besides that, he's really knowledgeable, and he did show us the vast history and rich culture that is in London. The first night I went to the London Eye and thought, wow, I saw something really important, but no, that was just barely scratched the surface.
Hi, my name is Michaela Kettler, and I'm a student in the Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences program at SDSU. And today we are in London, England, and we went to visit the North London Hospice, where we got to tour their facilities, and we learned about how London is part of the NHS, where they pay into this program throughout their life, and then when they get older and need systems like their hospice, they're able to then take those funds and get free coverage for when they come to have terminal illnesses and utilize these services. And we learned about how they work with social workers, GPs, general practitioners, nurses, and the families to find the best care possible for their patients so that they can live life to the fullest.
I'm Joanna, and I'm a public health major at SDSU. This is my 4th year, and while in London we went to the Old St. Thomas Operating Theatre, and Garrett really talked about how the life and death in old Victorian Britain was really contributed to what they believe was the air, which was miasma. And being a public health major, I learned about all that in one of my pre-rec classes, and just hearing about it in real life and actually seeing the conditions and explaining the conditions really opened my eyes to the truth about the history of London and how public health is such a big deal to make the world go round.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Walsh, and I'm a kinesiology major with an emphasis in physical therapy. One of the visits that I enjoyed a lot was seeing the health clinic on Dean Street, where they serve kind of a niche in their community in a completely new way that I've never really seen. So dealing with health things that aren't quite as comfortable as talking about getting a cold or something, they were able to bring these issues to light on the open, and they're taking away that negative stigma of having these health concerns, because they're here, we need to do our best to take care of them, and rather than shame everyone who has them and not help, we can change this whole system like they did and make ours better.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm a nutrition major. So I'm a dancer back home, and I wanted the opportunity to be able to take a class here in London and see what the dance scene is like here in London. And it was really nice to be able to take a class in a different country and see how the etiquette and the environment of the studio is. I noticed that here in London it was very similar to Los Angeles and North Hollywood, where it's very commercial industry, competitive. But I'm used to a community that's more, not that it wasn't not competitive, but it's very welcoming and more fun-loving of dance and not so intense. I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I was able to do something that I love and I'm very passionate about and experience it somewhere else rather than home.
My name is Wei Xiu Gao. I'm public health major, and while I've been here, I found that the healthcare system is very different from United States. In United States, we have much fragmented healthcare system. We mostly rely on private insurance. 60% people have private insurance, only 30% people have public insurance. But it's not like in UK. It's like all people have public insurance, and that they have well-developed primary health care, and that they have comprehensive network, so people can go to the hospital, to the clinic to get treatment for common disease. I think their primary healthcare system is act as an advocate, and they can control costs. And also they act like inability to prevent people to go to specialist care without going to the primary care first. So I think it is a big step that to control costs, and it is very important too. And also I think that we should learn from UK, the healthcare system, not to rely much on the private health insurance.
Hi, I'm Hannah Taylor, and I'm a kinesiology pre-physical therapy.
And I'm Callie King, and I'm a kinesiology fitness specialist major.
Our favorite stop was at the Chelsea football stadium.
We were able to meet with the Chelsea Football Club trainer who talked to us about fitness geared specifically towards soccer. And it was interesting for me to hear him talk about the actual energy systems and the different types of fitness training that we learn in class geared towards an actual real life situation.
And just as Callie was able to take away something specifically toward her emphasis, so was I when we were able to go ahead and go down into the actual locker rooms of the players, both home and away, and I was able to see something that I might be able to do in the future, where the physical therapist would come in and work on the players before and after the games. Being an average tourist in London, I don't think I would have been able to do that. I think through this program, it was kind of something special that we were able to do and go ahead and tour that. So I think that would be my most specific special part, just because I don't think if I came here on my own, that's something that I would have been able to do.
My name is Gio Alves. I'm a kinesiology fitness specialist major. Today we visited Chelsea Football Club. It was a good experience. The whole purpose of our visit was to learn about their style of training, as well as their nutrition that goes into training the Chelsea athletes. What I enjoyed most about going to Chelsea Stadium was the idea of it being a dynasty. Chelsea is Chelsea, it's something big here. I don't understand soccer personally, but I understand sports in general. I could imagine how a city would thrive on Chelsea winning the Premier League, a championship, any type of game they win. That would be just a great environment to be around. Or itself, just watching a game at the pub or being near the stadium when a game's going on, I could just feel the excitement and the enjoyment. And then going through the stadium and acting like a player was pretty intense also, because I play sports. Sports is fun, but that feeling of going onto the field, getting ready for a crowd, and getting ready to go destroy another team it's uplifting. It's something that only athletes would understand, or people who it's like a homecoming. It's just something you get to only experience once in a while.
My name is Manny Romero. I am a kinesiology major with emphasis in fitness specialist. The greatest part is to see all the history that's in the streets. Like you see some of the modern architecture in certain buildings, then you see classic architecture from like the Gothic area or just like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So just walking around the streets and getting a feel of both worlds, like kind of mind blowing.
My name's Diana Carrione. I'm a speech-language pathology major. Today we visited the Blizzard Institute, and inside there was the center of the cell. It's a lot of hands-on games for children to explore and learn about different science things. No. Okay. Cut.